Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all our RealStew members around the world. It has been 3 months since I last produced the last video, and I do apologize for that. There's been a lot of water under the bridge, there's been a lot of things happening, and naturally it's important that I get the message out to you as quick as possible. As I say, I did produce a video just over 10 days ago that I was intended to release a week ago because of the, which included aspects of what was happening on Norfolk Island. But for a couple of reasons, I've now had to redo the video and separate the information relating to Norfolk Island into a separate video, which I will only be able to release in 2 or 3 days' time, well, after the 8th of June, and you'll find out for a very good reason, because it's obviously highly sensitive, very exciting, lots of opportunities, but it's rather than sort of hold up the works, I'll produce a video now that relates to what's happening in RealStew and to give you some sort of indication as to where we're going. Firstly, let me go back one. One thing, that I think we've got to take stock of is, a lot of things have happened in RealStew in the last couple of weeks and couple of months, and there's certain things that we've tried that haven't worked. So rather than, I've taken stock of that, and rather than sort of perpetuating the same mistakes, nobody really learns from the second kick of a donkey, so why should we? But we seem to be making the same mistakes. So it's now time for a new look and a new fresh way of looking at things, a new way of doing things. This video is going to introduce to you some of the concepts of what we're currently working on and how I believe we're going to get the traction the way it should be done, and we're going to achieve everything we set out to achieve. First of all, what have we learned? Well, we've learned that the RealStew concept, while it's fantastic, a lot of potential, it's too complex to secure initial traction. We find there's a direct relationship between talking about the money and the loss of interest wanting people to join. As soon as you start talking to people about the money, they start sort of glazing over. It seems complicated, there's no free lunch, and it raises more questions than answers, and it just doesn't work. People are tired of joining anything new, so when you say please join this group, they're not really interested, and again, you're losing before you even start. What I have learned and noticed that and we just had that recently with our experience within the Indian market, if we were able to show them the money rather than just talk about the money, it would go viral. So on the one hand, we don't want to talk about the money, it doesn't work, but what will happen is when they start seeing that the money is happening and it's certainly starting to cycle. So taking that into account, we've come up with a whole new way of doing things. I believe will address that and really change things. The last thing is the internet is viral, and that substantiates that point what happened in the Indian market. Even though it was a disinformation taking place, we did see the huge take-up and lots of things happening. Quite a bit of it was entrepreneurial, which was a bit wrong, but nevertheless it did take off. And one thing is clear, that if we had been in a position to have a distribution of even a small bit of money, if we saw what happened in India as being viral, we were able to go much faster. So with taking that into account, I've looked at the way of how we present things. So the answer is that we need to keep it, any application simple. They mustn't have to be complicated. They don't have to integrate into other things. So we want to go for some freestanding, what I call freestanding applications. Keep it simple. We've got to address very, very early in any conversation what's in it for me. If a customer or somebody looking at what we currently have to offer doesn't see the benefit immediately, they're not interested. We've got to look at the cost benefit. There must be a simple statement, like you can't afford not to do it, or it must be easy to do. So if you can make it easy and it just really takes off, then we're going to find that traction is like a walk in the park. So on that point, we've got to make it easy to link people up and to create this dynamic model we talk about. This whole process of join under me and all that is complicated. And then we've got to look at lubricating the wheel. We've got to find ways of how we're going to get the money flow to start working. It must be able to, what I call, limit the friction, easy traction, and it must happen seamlessly. Now, we haven't been able to do that. A lot of things have not been seamless. It's not easy traction, and there is a lot of friction in getting going ahead. So we're going to start looking at developing and releasing what I call a lot of freestanding applications. The first application we're going to introduce is what we call our loyalty card system. we all know that with the loyalty cards, everybody, all the merchants we come across, we've all got a lot of merchant cards or loyalty cards in our wallets already, whether it's the Tesco card, the Nectar card, the Flybuy card, the Morrison's card, the Woolworths card, the Garage card, McDonald's card. We've all got cards in our wallet already. And what that tells us is that we like to go and get loyalty points. We like to collect some sort of benefit every time you're doing trade. But one thing that I've also noticed is that nobody really wants another card. So I thought to myself, well, what if we could come up with a product whereby we introduce a loyalty system, but you don't have to actually have another card. You can use any existing card you've got. So this is quite a nifty idea if you think about it. So the proposition is this: a merchant would set up the system very, very cost effectively, would not have to produce their own cards, and when somebody comes and does business after the person has actually done the business, the merchant says, "Thank you for giving me the business. Can I give you a discount or cashback discount right now for the fact that you've actually given me some business?" I can tell you now, nobody's going to deny that. However, we're not going to then say, "Oh, well, then you must go and register my card. Here's a card, another card in your wallet." We say, well, not only am I going to give you a cashback, in order to get the cashback, take any barcode of card out of your wallet right now and scan and go. You just got to scan it. That's all you need to do. And what would actually happen in scanning it, it will come up with a number that actually shows the barcode number we pulled off. But then we will also say to you, seeing you've gone and scanned the one, why limit it to the one? You take 5 cards out of your wallet and go and scan all of them. We then say to you, now that they're scanned, register, submit. The next thing we say to you, well, now that you've scanned them, if you want to register your email address now, link to it, you can. But if you don't want to, you don't have to do it now. But you've scanned it, it's done, you can now walk away. But if you do register it, fantastic. But I do know that in some stores we're dealing with, they're very busy, they don't have the time, they don't have the opportunity. So somebody just wants to take their goods, take a card out, scan it, and walk away. So we do cater for that scenario. You don't have to register your email address at this stage, but it's preferable if you do. So we do give that option. The next thing which is unique the way our system works is this. Let's just say I scan my card with the merchant and I walk away. The very next 2 people, and I was, let's say, the first customer of the day, the very next 2 people that come through that merchant's office and scans their card where that barcode is original barcode to the system, they immediately are now linked under the first person that actually scanned that day. The next 4 people are in turn linked under the last 2 that have joined, and the next 8 are then automatically linked with when they scan their barcode under the last 4, the next 16 under the last 8, the next 32 under the last 16, and so you carry on. We do that up until we get to 64, then it starts off at number 1 again. So we build a series of 1 to level 6, up to 119 sort of clients are linked into a grid, and as they walk through, all you're doing is scan and go, scan and go. So it's a very, very, very quick, simple process. And as I say, the best thing about it all, you can use any card, but what it does do, it actually sets the member up as part of a link. Now, where that gets very, very interesting is that, let's say that person who scanned the thing, they come back the second time, or they could be going with that barcode to, let's say, another merchant who's using the same system, and they scan the card. What the system will pick up is that barcode is already in the system, and it will suddenly pick up and say, by the way, you have got X number of cashback amounts already, X number of loyalty points already that you can redeem. Now let's just say I happen to be member number 1 or customer number 1 that walked through the store on a particular day. By the end of the day, I'm going to have 119 people under me because they've gone and scanned their sort of cards, and they've actually gone and bought, and there's been a cashback, and I start receiving the benefit of 6 degrees of separation on their money already. But I don't know them from a bar of soap, but they are scanned and they're part of a grid. So suddenly I may find that I've gone and spent maybe £10, but I may have about $4 or $5 worth or £5 worth of credit of cash back already, even though I only spent a small amount, and that's because of the multiplier effect of 6 degrees of separation of the previous 119 people that walked through the store. Obviously, the people that are on level 2, 3, and 4 will have less people under them because it goes down to level 6 of 64, and then it starts at number 1 again. But nevertheless, we start getting the momentum going. And so what we've really gone and done is started to create the structure. Now, how I would cash in my card is that when I do come back there, and I've now gone and registered with my email address, incidentally, if I haven't registered because all I've done was scan and walked away, I will see a card that says, when I go there and I scan, it tells me, by the way, you've got a lot of rewards, but you can't cash it in until you go and register your card with your email address. But I won't go into detail now about that, but let's deal with the scenario where I've gone and registered now my card with my email address at the time of registering, and it tells me that I've registered and I've got a quantity of money. I click on a tab, which is the screen on the left, and it opens the screen on the right, and it tells me I've got $4.56 in US dollars already, and I've got some loyalty points. At that point, I can say yes, I touch the claim the cash amount that I want to reduce. It comes up to, let's say, $4.56, and I print the voucher. When I click print, there's a little slip print voucher that actually prints it within a second. It prints the voucher. I then give the voucher to the merchant, who would either deduct the cash off the sale that I've just done, and that balance the books with the voucher, or the merchant can just give me the cash equivalent. And what actually happens is the money is now transferred to the merchant's trading account, but the cash has been given to you as the individual customer. So now we've solved the problem of not only where am I going to get the cash, how do I get the cash out? We solved the problem in the fact that I make the cash not because of cashbacks or what I bought, but everybody else that bought underneath me up to 6 degrees of separation. But you can also find it's not necessarily somebody buying something from my store or the same merchant store. Those people within 6 degrees could be buying from another merchant store in different currencies. So you'll certainly find that I'm starting to earn a fair bit of money, and yet all I did was actually use the card once or twice. So the interesting dynamics there. So let's look at the cost benefit. The cost to the merchant will be a one-off capital charge of about £125 or $250. There's a monthly charge of £25 in order to use the system, and then there's a minimum cashback of, let's say, 0.25% of the revenue. But there's more to it. The merchant doesn't have to limit it to 0.25. That's just the minimum amount. The merchant may decide to want to give a bigger percentage. So that's very, very easy to do. The benefits to the merchant is it's a quick setup, very, very simple. It's a minimum cost. There's no need to go and purchase or publish your own cards. If you've got a business where you've got 1,000 customers in your books, you're going to have to produce 2,000 to 3,000 cards just to get it out to them, and that alone is going to cost you easy 2,000 to 3,000 or 4,000 pounds or dollars wherever you're located before you can get started. So that's not necessary now. You just use everybody else's cards. It also gets you very quickly to know who your customer is and what is they buying, because every time they swipe the card, it goes into the CRM database. It says that barcode, that customer has bought the following items. So you can start running some sort of analysis of who your customer is just by the fact that although you're giving them cashbacks and rewards, every time they scan in to be able to claim those or to sort of have it credited to their account, you're able to link what the transaction is that they bought to that scanning process, and suddenly you can start realizing which customers are buying tomato sauce frequently and which one isn't. It's going to give you the repeat and referral business because you are continually interfacing with these customers. You're able to now look at the CRM. You can start engaging, especially the ones that have now registered their email address. The last thing is you're able to, we offer what's known as specials. You can start running specials or the deal of the day. And again, I'll show you that screen shortly. So, for a nominal amount of money, easy setup, we're able to give people a really sophisticated loyalty system. But what's interesting, as much as the monthly charge is £25 a month, that's maximum, because as the days and weeks go by, the merchant is going to find that they have gone and created 6 degrees of separation with their customers, and before long they're going to find they're not paying £25 a month. We start paying them money. So you've got this sort of situation where we're giving you an application that gives you the ability to run your business more efficiently and effectively, and after a while we'll start paying you to use it, which is very, very novel. Okay. Now, as regards the merchant's dashboard, now if you're a merchant, you are able able to, and you could be one of the 119 customers in that tree, and any tree customer, that after a while gets the feeling, gee, this is pretty cool, I'm getting cashbacks. And of course they explore on the site and they find, we prompt them to suggest, well, maybe you want to implement the same cashback card system at your store. So immediately, one of the big benefits we've got is that every single customer that's going through the door is an opportunity for us to upsell applications to them and basically use the very application that they've scored benefit from. They can actually use it themselves. So you can set up your own application literally within 60 seconds. You profile yourself, the business, you decide what type of clients you're aiming at, and we're able to now sort of promote it and introduce the RealStew to all those people that are receiving their daily email advising them of the money that they received. What I want you to look at is what it does do as well is the merchant has a lot of flexibility. We're not just limiting it to a cashback. The merchant can decide from Monday to Sunday what percentage cashback they would give on different days. Certain days you give a bigger cashback for the simple reason you want people to be encouraged on those days to give you more business. There's the question of what loyalty points. You can allocate loyalty points and you can give a different value to the loyalty points, or different amount of loyalty points you can a member earns based on the amount of business you do, but also gives you a different value as well on different days. So on certain days that are low days, and normally you encourage people to come and visit you on those particular days to spread the load, in exchange for which they're going to earn bigger cashbacks on those days. Their loyalty points are going to be more valuable and their redemption value is higher on those days. So we're giving a lot of flexibility to the merchant to not only be able to manage the relationships, but you can also direct as to quiet and busy days a month as to what business you want to get. Next thing you're able to do as the merchant is you pull up a customer database. It will tell you, how often the customer's been in. You can sort of see how many loyalty points the customer has got. You want to be able to maybe keep in mind that the loyalty points that have been built up have to be used up within 12 months. So what we'll do is 30 days before the month that they're about to run out, we'll be able to email those customers and say, look, you're using, there's these losing points, these loyalty points. You're going to lose them. If you don't use them, you do lose them. So there's a lot of flexibility. And the next thing you're going to do as a merchant, as I say, is be able to create your own specials. You can load up to 6 images or a YouTube, give a short description, a main description, and a broader description of what you're wanting to sell. Then you can profile through keywords, the customers you're aiming at, the type of location. Now we'll know their location because next time somebody sort of scans in a particular area on a regular basis, we know where the merchant is. So every time that happens, we know that that person with that barcode is in, let's say, the Glendale area regularly, because that's where they do the shopping. So we are able to now start profiling the location of customers or prospective customers. When you set up your special, you can actually send the special out. It would go, if it's yourself as a merchant and your customers, on your daily email that we send on your behalf to them, we'll start promoting not only how much money they've earned over in the course of the 12 months or 12 hours or 24 hours, they're also going to be able to sort of see a special that we know is profiled specifically to be of interest to them. So you've now gone and created a scenario where a merchant can very easily, at a very cost-effective way, be up and running with a loyalty system. They can create their own sort of e-commerce system by loading items straight away. It's part of a deal of the day. They've got real-time access to all this information. So the value proposition is very, very easy and cost-effective. Next thing you're able to do is, as I say, you're able to manage all your specials. You can see, you would set up your PayPal account, and when somebody buys a particular promotion from you, the payment is effected there and then. We send them a coupon. You would get the cash straight away because it's paid directly to your PayPal account, which you register with us. We will then send the voucher to the customer, and when the customer comes to redeem the voucher, you just scan the voucher, confirms it, takes it off that they've now sort of claimed it. So you're going to be able to manage all your special sort of products or services, and you're going to be able to on the fly create whatever campaigns that you want in order to try and attract new customers, which are going to be attracted not only to your existing client base, but we're obviously going to sell those on a broader ecosystem that we're building. Now, what's important to realize is this is not a one dimension of earnings. I may earn cashback earnings 6 degrees, let's say, because I'm within a particular network with a merchant. But there's nothing stopping anybody that's within my chain to go and buy from another merchant at 6 degrees of separation. I'm going to find that that person's still 2 or 3 degrees from me, but they're now getting cash back from other merchants other than the merchants that I would frequent. So suddenly you'll find that the money I'm getting is no longer 6 degrees just with one merchant. It's 6 degrees with every single possible business in the area. The cashback is also multi-currency because there's nothing stopping that card being used anywhere in the world. A person travels, they at a particular store came their cashback. They can go to the next sort of country or even next province or next continent. It doesn't matter, and they start getting the same thing going. And suddenly you'll find because they're within 6 degrees of separation, you start earning hard currencies. We also find every customer is a prospective merchant. As I said earlier, we're going to find that it's very, very quick. Anybody who's getting used to it loves the idea, the concept. It looks pretty, it looks attractive, and that person may be a merchant themselves, and they may decide, gee, I'm going to start doing this too. If that is the case, and they are within 6 degrees of separation to you, then as they start sort of bringing in their own customer base that they're interfacing with, they can start adding that whole chain of people under you, 6 degrees of separation. And then lastly, the loyalty RealStew is not loyalty RealStew is only one of an application of library. So this is just one thin edge of the sword. Once somebody starts using it and they started to get their daily email, we've now got them to sort of realize that there's a much bigger pool out there of money that they can earn. It's not just on the small pond they're in nowadays. We've now gone and resolved the question of why should I join? Well, you joined already. We resolved the question of where does the money come from, because now you know where it's come from. It's from the cashbacks and people can see it. We resolved this is a MLM challenge because there is no difficulty. You through the luck of the draw, you scanned it and the person next 119 people under you are linked to you. So a proportion of people are going to start becoming members where they're going to start having a fair number of links almost quickly on the same day. We have a solid base of committed sharing members who are prepared who are mentored to be proactive. So we are going to be able to immediately at this point, people can decide, well, I would like to know more about this library, and that's when we would introduce them and auto link them to mentors who would take it to the next level. But by this stage, we're not, you've got this sort of people that have already been financially successful, and they're now starting to see the benefit. Lastly, the whole process is a lot more seamless, it's frictionless, and there's easy traction. So we've addressed the question of simplicity, and it's going to be a lot easier, and it works by itself. Now, how does private equity look at what we've done? They love it. I can tell you that now, because they can see in my presentation, I've said to them that it's an easy value proposition. We've removed a lot of the mystique and complexity out as to how we're going to get our numbers to grow, and it's a very easy value proposition. It's cheaper, faster, and quicker for the merchant. The merchant has no major outlay, and they have the benefits of a whole loyalty system where they know more about their customer. The merchant can now, the value is pretty easy. It's easy to set up e-commerce too, because as a merchant, all I go and do now is create a whole lot of specials, and I'm able to effectively be selling products and services on the web. Those go into a directory, and you'll find that not only if somebody is drawn to one of your ads that we present to them in a profiled environment, if somebody clicks on it, they're going to get through to your e-commerce platform where you've got all your specials, and we've gone and made it much easier to open. The other advantage of what we've got is this application is a freestanding. It fits in with everybody else, but it's not required, in order for us to have other systems working for the e-commerce to work. It's also a better deal of the day model, and they really got that, because we are now sort of on the fly able to create a lot of deal of the days. There's a success fee where we would be able to get it out in the daily emails, and they got that. What I can also say to you is that we currently are working with 1,500 potential stores in the UK. There's one chain in particular that's got 1,400, plus the 42 fish and chicken stores that we know about. and collectively they serve over 1 million customers a month. Now, we all know about the fish and chip guys. They are already now waiting to see what we have on offer, and then I'll start linking everybody up to their franchised fish and chip outlets. So that's starting to progress very nicely, and I believe we'll be in a position within about 6 weeks maximum to be able to offer a full offering, that's really very real. We only need to, what's important private equity realizes is that we only need 4 to 5 medium-sized clients to connect the whole of the UK within 2 to 3 degrees. Now, I'm currently working with a couple of them, and what is very clear to me is that they love the proposition of not having to, as they produce cards. It's simple, they can get a mind around it. The technology doesn't give the impression of multi-level marketing, and that's all very nice. The private equity, they also get it, and they realize that with 1 million cashback transactions in a month, we're going to see 42 million shared benefits that start getting distributed at 6 degrees. And with the sheer volume, they see that this is going to be the answer to how we would be able to prove the value proposition. What they have sort of said to me is they've laid down certain metrics. They've said they need to prove things. They would like us to get 1,000 stores connected using the system. As I say, I'm dealing with a couple of stores where one chain in particular is 1,400. So, I believe it's certainly within our capabilities to do it. But they would like to be able to, they believe that's sufficient of a test model to see the traction in the numbers. With 1,000 stores, it's easy. We're going to get 200,000 to 300,000 new members, if not more, or people that are sharing, and the whole thing sort of snowballs. We also they want to prove that there's sustainable continuous increase in the membership registrations. Obviously, I showed them that the graph, the numbers are going up, but then they started to go down when there was less activity on the site. Now that's going to change dramatically, because every time somebody sort of buys something and they claim the e-commerce rewards or real reward loyalty, you're going to find that it's easier for them to pick up on the new applications. So our points of difference is we have proven, the private equity guys say, if we can prove that our points of difference is generating more business with e-commerce, that we've got the real world loyalty system that people are starting to use, that we're starting to get the deal of the day as a take-up, there's a CRM take-up, there's the online accounting, and they can see that we actually, another point of difference is the cooperative marketing or cooperative networking. So basically what they're saying is, go out there, get 1,000 stores connected up, show us that you've got that volume, and it's within our reach to do that. So that's basically what we need to find out doing. What can I say about Norfolk Island? Well, what I can say is that it's far from over. I know it looks really tough out there, but the Bounty Day is the 8th of June 2016, which is the 160th anniversary of the founding families landing on the island. They do not give up easily, and it is not in their genes to do so. So what I can say is, it may appear that they're on their back foot now, but I can assure you that is about to change. Again, I can't release that video to explain how and why it's going to change now, but I will be releasing it in a few days. Now, what is the benefit of RealStew in being involved in Norfolk Island? Well, apart from the fact it's the right thing to do, but that's by the by. To me, it's a very good marketing play. Yes, we spent a lot of time and resources in terms of time and my time on Norfolk Island, but what I can say is we haven't committed any programming resources to it, because that doesn't come into the equation. But a successful outcome for Norfolk Island will have huge implications for the South Pacific for RealStew. The small islands in the South Pacific, in February this year, there was a small islands conference where 19 people, different islands were represented, and it was an opportunity for us to demonstrate RealStew to them. And there's already a lot of interest. So, by getting a successful under our belt with Norfolk Island, it's going to give us a lot of business for Norfolk Island, but it becomes the benchmark that we're going to be able to address a much bigger South Pacific community. So, there you have it with RealStew. As I say, it has taken me a while to get back into the fold, and I do apologize for that. I trust that this has answered a lot of your questions. I do know that no doubt it's going to it's going to raise questions, but about how it's possible to do what we've done. But yet, yeah, here it is. Please sort of ask questions on the user groups, and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much.